nothing to wear. Does that sound like a familiar feeling to any of you? Maybe you felt like that today in the morning when you were getting dressed. Or you feel like that every other day when you have to get ready for something important. Well, you're not alone. For the longest time, I was the girl who used to look at her wardrobe and mutter the same words to herself. Really look at my wardrobe in the exact same manner. Even though the reality was that I had more than enough clothing. And if I really had to put it into numbers, let's say jeans. I had over 20 pairs of jeans. Yet, every other week or month, I'd find myself going to buy more clothes, just to fulfill an urge, or retail therapy, as many of us would call it. So I used to buy clothing because it was convenient, clothing was cheap, and sometimes whenever I wanted that one-time outfit, it was so easy to buy something, wear it once, forget about it, it would lie in my wardrobe, probably there for the next many years, And what this did was kind of expanded my wardrobe to a pretty large size. And even though this clothing was affordable, I didn't feel any good. So you could say that clothes have been a big part of my life. But in a way, aren't they a big part of all our lives? We wake up every morning and we choose that particular outfit to represent who we want to be that day, just like I did today, or you all did. Clothes have a lot to do with identity, but often at times we look at the outside of it all, just as if it's a physical appearance. We are so wooed by the lovely colors, the silhouettes, especially in this content-driven era when our favorite influencer posts about a brand launching something, and we can't wait to get our hands on it. With so much information being thrown at us, it's hard for us to stop for a second and just look through that noise and wonder about the journey that outfit may have taken before it got into the racks of our favorite stores or got into our wardrobes. And it was not until I really thought about the word value did my mind start moving there. I used to think my clothing choices just impacted me and my bank balance. Little did I know that a t-shirt that I owned, which said made in Cambodia, was connected to a woman who made that in Cambodia. The cotton dress that I own is connected to the farmer who grew that cotton. And I read this question somewhere which said, who made your clothes and where is your clothing coming from? This curiosity was sparked in the industry after a heartbreaking disaster which happened in Bangladesh in the April of 2013. There was a factory called the Rana Plaza, a garment factory essentially, which collapsed due to a weak structure, unsafe structure, taking the lives of over 1,000 people and injuring several others. What's even worse is that they'd actually noticed these cracks in the building. It could have been saved, but they were forced to go back to fulfill orders for brands we're all very familiar with today. So the question of transparency really picked up in the industry. And when I learned about Rana Plaza, in an instant, my thoughts went back to how I had been consuming my clothing. And as I started reading, I realized that the industry was not a very transparent place. It was not only impacting the people who were making our clothes, but also impacting nature. And I have been an avid nature lover all my life. I go to nature to seek inspiration. I go to nature to find peace. And so this was a vital question for me. Not only that, I grew up with a family that works in the fashion industry, and a very positive side indeed. My maternal side of the family owns an Indian bridal and customization business founded by my grandparents. Today, it's looked after by my mother. So when I was younger, I used to love going over to her store, watching her work, watching her really create the journey of the outfit from start to finish. The factory was also actually very, very close to the store. So I used to just watch her interactions with her tailors, with her masters, and just see how she'd speak to them, how she'd work with them. And there were a couple of things that were always there. There was respect for the people who worked there, value beyond the fact that they were working for the company. And there was an aspect of family that still runs through the value chain of the business. Today, a lot of the tailors have been working there for about 30, 40 years. So this was sort of the foundation that had been laid out for me, that I had been brought up on. And growing up, as I was figuring out what I wanted to do, eventually I did want to study fashion. But from the time that I was 18 till I went to do my master's, I got very engrossed in learning how to market the product, sell fashion, just talk about the outside of it all. And I remember it was the November of 2016, I was studying my master's in Italy, and that is when I had my first lessons in sustainability in fashion. And that is when I heard about the first-hand impact of the industry. And it was funny, because I used to travel Italy. It was such a beautiful country. We used to get to visit craftsmen who really cared about the fabric that they were making or the clothes that they were making. But then you'd walk the streets of Milan and be blasted with consumerism. And somewhere this wasn't sitting well with me. And this is where I watched a movie called The True Cost, and that's where I heard that the fashion industry is the third most polluting industry in the world today. And I thought to myself, is this the relationship I want to have with my clothes? Because I'm quoting relationship, and I asked myself, what is that relationship that I want to have with my clothes? Because the truth is that when we connect with something, we have the tendency to care about it more. So I'm going to pause for a second here and tell you all in this room today that you and I, all of us, truly can change the world together. And I'll tell you why. About 75 million of us are working in the garment and textiles industry. They say in the movie True Cost, 1 in every 6 person is somehow linked to the textile and garment industry. Now think about that, and think about the fact that majority of these people are today in countries such as India, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Vietnam. So somehow we're all connected, right? We're all connected in a way. If today you go back and you read the label of the dress or the outfit that you're wearing, remember that there was a person behind it. And not only that, if you just look at a journey of, say, a cotton t-shirt, it's not one person. It starts with the farmer who grows that cotton, to the spinner and the fabric makers, to then the garment workers, and then it moves forward to going to the logistics person. And apart from the human touch of fashion, fashion has actually a lot to do with the environment as well. Fashion uses land to grow cotton. Man-made fabrics are also made using land and our resources. But the truth is that with the growth of more clothing, cheaper fashion, fast fashion, nature and the human touch of fashion has been impacted negatively. Even though today, yes, we get our clothing at an affordable price, lots of variety, lots of products, but not without a cost. What fast fashion essentially is putting quantity over quality. And when I say that, I mean not only the quality, the quality of the clothing, but the quality of the processes that they're made with. Fast fashion creates clothing faster in larger quantities at a cheaper price. To do that, they create 52 collections a year. 52 collections a year, guys. That is a lot of clothing. To make that at a cheaper price, they have to go to countries with minimum wages. So even though this is bringing jobs into our countries, workers are still not getting paid enough for the amount of clothing that they're making, for the amount of work that they're doing. At the same time, fashion has a high environmental cost. Today, the industry is 10% responsible for the greenhouse gas emissions, and 20% of the world's water pollution is due to the garment and textiles industry. A fabric like polyester, we're all familiar with that. 60% of our clothing is made from polyester today. Polyester uses fossil fuels to be produced. And to dye polyester, you can't use low-impact dyes. You have to use chemical-based dyes. And chemical-based dyes are not only bad for our skin, but after the dye process is through, a lot of dye houses don't clean the water before disposing it off to our rivers. So if you see what's happened to the Yamuna recently, the textile and dye industry is a huge contributor. Now, at the same time, with all this impact, fast fashion is not thinking about the end life of the product. It's saying buy, throw, buy, throw. And yet, with so much clothing, every day, it pushes consumerism towards you, saying, if you buy me, you'll be happy. Today, there's a great deal. If you don't pick me up now, you're going to lose an opportunity. So through all this negative impact, you wonder, can I do something? Is there something that we all can do? And I remembered a quote that I still truly live by. Value the little things. My dad used to say to me, and he still does, everything in moderation. He used to be the one who would finish the food we'd waste at restaurants because we'd overorder. Today, he still loves repairing things around the house because those objects deserve to live longer if they can be repaired and fixed. And that made me realize that we come from a culture where repair, recycle, value is such a big term. Who remembers hand-me-downs? Hand-me-downs from the elder sibling to the younger sibling to the cousin, clothing that got passed through the system. And also our local darji. We used to go to our local tailor to get clothing made. This is something so rooted in our culture as Indians. And just like that, fashion also had about 4 seasons, not 52. And what that pushed us to do was buy clothing whenever we required to, whenever we needed to add staples to our wardrobes, thereby spending more on quality of the clothing. And when I realized that I was giving power to companies to continue working like this. Because the truth is that we've always been conscious as consumers. But somehow, in this tryst of wanting things faster, companies took the opportunity to start pushing them even faster towards us. So I'd like to tell you about the outfit I'm wearing today. It's made using the slow process. Slow fashion essentially puts quality over quantity, making sure that the clothing is made keeping longevity in mind, thinking about the end life of the clothing, and also made with a low impact. So the planet is happier, and so are the people. The t-shirt that I'm wearing is made from waste fabric, dead stock fabric, which the brand didn't use, and the skirt is made from khadi. Khadi is a fabric that's rooted in our culture. And what khadi essentially is hand-spun, hand-woven cotton. It uses no electricity to be created. This khadi is special because it was made in collaboration with an NGO called Women Weave. They gave work to women, fair wages to create this beautiful fabric. This fabric takes about 2 months to 3 months to get created. After that, it is passed over to Tahir's team. Tahir has a stable job, along with his team members, gets a fair pay, and makes clothing for a living. Tahir cuts the fabric, passes it over to Nawab and Hassan to finish the skirt. And thereby, whatever waste fabric that they get from the production, they save it so that they can use it for utility products, accessories. This is the journey of my outfit. And this is what I truly believe to be the idea of hope and positivity in the fashion industry. Because every time I wear this piece of clothing, I feel good, not only because it is great quality, it makes me feel comfortable, but it also made a positive impact on the people who made it and the planet. So after a lot of research, journeying, thinking about how to consume conscientiously and going through my own journey, I founded my own company with one core goal: to create positive clothing, positive fashion with a green heart. And a green heart is what I really want to leave you all here with today. A green heart essentially is a heart that respects the people who make our clothing and the planet. And it is true that if we all just lead with a green heart today, we can make a difference. It is as simple as just taking that extra step to care. It takes 1 minute to just wonder, that 1 extra minute to wonder about the journey of that outfit. Where did it come from? Who made it? What kind of fabric is it? Is it impacting someone in a negative way? Or is it impacting someone in a positive way? Then great. The truth is that the fashion industry will always exist. It gives jobs. It gives us beautiful clothing. But today, due to it being still, it's a $1 trillion industry, but it still does not benefit the people at the bottom of the supply chain. Neither is it impacting the planet in any positive way. A better system truly comes with us raising our voices. It comes with us caring a little more. Because I read somewhere that all of us, we are half of this equation. So while we wait for things to change, they're not going to escalate. They will escalate if we say we'll take an extra step to care. So the next time you look at your wardrobe and you say, I have nothing to wear, just think about all the clothing you have and just start by trying to have a relationship with your current wardrobe. And moving on to go on in this journey, here are a few tips and trips that really helped me begin mine. Think before you buy. Truly think before you buy something. First step always, look at your own wardrobe. Do I already have something that I feel like buying? Ask yourself, is this what I want to associate myself with? Is this the brand I want to support for the values they have? Be conscious of the values you hold. Truly ask yourself, what are those values? Do I want to support natural fabrics? Do I want to support a brand that is supporting fair wages? Do I want to support a brand that believes in saving water? Be conscious of those values. Thirdly, this is the most important one. Value your current wardrobe. We underestimate the power of the clothes we already own. Look after them, wash them well, upcycle them, repair them, have fun with it. Explore if it's not in budget. A lot of people assume that if it's sustainable fashion, it's gotta be expensive. That's not true. Yes, if you can afford something that's beautifully and locally made, go ahead. Totally get it. But sustainable fashion could also mean secondhand clothing, swapping with your friends, really enjoying the idea of it. And at the end of it all, share your progress with your friends. Build a conscious community around you. Truly, it doesn't matter what someone may think or might not think. The truth is that if even one of us takes a step forward and multiply that by 100 people, think about what a big ripple that may cause. So the next time you're wondering, how can I make a positive impact on the planet today? Remember that you can just start with your clothing. Thank you.